I want to welcome all the guests tonight to the Grand Cave Fiscal Court meeting for June 16th. It is now 6:30. We'll go ahead and get started. First of all, I'll have Colton Simpson, deacon of the Williamstown Baptist Church. If everyone could stand for prayer and continue to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we are grateful for this day. We're grateful for the opportunity to be here, Lord. We thank you for this beautiful day and all the people that are gathered. And Lord, I ask for your wisdom to the court this evening that they may make great decisions in Grant County. In Jesus' name I pray.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All may be seated. If I can have Pat call roll.
Magistrate Humphrey.
Present.
Magistrate Riley.
Present.
Magistrate Coldine.
Present.
And Judge Dills.
Present. Moving down, approval of the minutes. Present for a motion to approve the minutes dated June 2nd, 2020.
I make a motion to approve the minutes presented this evening dated June 2nd, 2020.
I second.
I have a motion by Magistrate Riley, a second by Magistrate Codarn. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving down to fiscal matters, number one on the items, present for review, motion to approve the claims drawn on the general fund, road fund, jail fund dated June 16, 2020, along with the transfers as presented.
I make a motion to approve the claims presented this evening against the general fund, road fund, jail fund dated June 16th, along with the requested transfers.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Magistrate Riley, a second by Magistrate Humphrey. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving down to item number two, present the Grant County Treasurer's cash position report for the month of May 2020. This is review only, no action required. Has everyone had a chance to look at that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is everyone good?
Yep.
Okay. Moving down to new business, present for review and approval an addendum to the Grant County Detention Center's policy procedure pertaining to the limited English proficiency plan. A little bit of background on it. Jailer Mike Webster is present with us. He can explain here a little bit what it is, but this is basically an addition that needs to be reviewed by us to their policy pertaining to an interpreter, and it was needing to be done on some federal and state funds that he had applied for, and he can go into more detail here in a little bit on it, but need to approve the changes, or actually no changes, but the addition of this English proficiency plan to his policy manual.
As requested by our jailer, I would like to make a motion to approve this addition to the detention center's policies as requested.
I second.
Motion made by Magistrate Riley, a second by Magistrate Codarn. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving down to item number two, present for a motion to accept the letter from the Grant County Conservation District Board of Supervisors setting the rate of 0.01 cents per hundred of assessed value for the taxing district for 2020-2021 fiscal year. If you notice attached in your documents, the rate is the same as last year. They didn't feel the need that they needed to increase the rate.
And I would like to ditto that. Judge, reading the letter, I thought it was good of the Conservation Department saying the current rate is sufficient to fund the district. I think it just needs to be brought out that they're being good stewards of the money that they have to avoid any increases, and I just applaud them for that.
Good deal.
I make a motion to accept the letter presented this evening on behalf of the Grant County Conservation District Board, acknowledging that the tax rates will not increase for 2021.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Magistrate Riley, a second by Magistrate Humphrey. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving down to one of our most important items on the agenda is recognition. We have Don Poe here with us from the Corinth Rural Volunteer Fire Board. And I just want to thank you, Don, for what you've done for the Corinth Fire Board. Your dedication has went a long ways, and I appreciate it. And I'm going to ask Jacqueline Riley, our magistrate of the 1st District, who's worked closely with the Corinth Fire Department for many years, that she may want to say a few things.
Sure. Thank you, Judge Dills. Don, I have had the pleasure to get to know you and work with you for probably a little over 7 years, even a year before I was elected to serve District 1. And it has been an honor and a delight to get to know you better and to get to work and partner with the volunteers in Corinth. And you have been a tremendous asset to this community, and I hope that you know that. I think that you had told me that you had worked to establish this volunteer board back in 1995 or so, and I would have probably been in the 5th grade then. And I just think that is awesome that still exists. And then what folks probably don't know is your ability to collaborate with folks, even when things may not be the best of times, maybe when money's short, or when tensions are high with personalities and those types of things. You really have a sense about getting people to roll in the right direction and to roll together. And that even goes to the partnership that you have worked, and I know Michael has worked along with that, and Lonnie as well, in regards to our neighboring county, Owen County, where we have the opportunity to partner with them on the south of the county and consolidate services and to stretch taxpayer dollars even further in order to provide the service. And frankly, I don't think that would have been possible without your relationships that you have in Owen County and that relationship you have with Judge Ellis, who also sends his gratitude and appreciation to you this evening, even though he couldn't be here. And so I just, it's pretty awesome, the contribution and the legacy that you're leaving behind on behalf of the Corinth Volunteer Fire Department. And it's an honor to recognize you with this certificate this evening. And I also know Miss Maddox is here representing from a Frankfurt level that will present you with such acknowledgments as well. So I hope folks stay back for a picture or two after Judge Dills presents you with that. And thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I know sometimes it's a thankless job. I know you all these years haven't been earning a paycheck, but we do genuinely appreciate the service to our community that you have provided us. So, and for those that don't know, he is passing the torch to the gentleman in the purple, Fred, in the back. And so I think he's going to remain on the Corinth Fire Board. And so we appreciate that. And I look forward to partnering with Fred and the rest of the volunteers in years to come.
Thank you. Jacqueline, if you want to join me, we'll
Okay.
go out front here and present this. Okay, moving down to Judge Executive's report. Just want to report that we're starting to get things back to a little bit normal here in the courthouse. Been meeting with the road department on a regular basis, just on their activity, and just a little bit of report. I told Steve Tatum that he needed to get some hay mowed, get his hay mowed. But they're currently mowing. They've got about 2/3 of the county mowed.
His personal hay?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
just checking on that. Okay.
They've got about 2/3 of our county roads mowed. Right now, they're currently mowing and patching potholes. So that's what their current activity is. As soon as they get closer done with the mowing, trying to get caught up on the patchwork, they will be coming out doing at least 2 roads on trimming trees right off the bat. Also want to report that we've got all the pavement on the road slippage is finished except for Heakin Clarks Creek and Shauna Codarn's area, her Heathen Ridge. So they should be out on Heathen Ridge. That's the next one. Bluegrass paving's going to, and then, as you know, Wrigler's got the bid on the Heakin Clarks Creek. So he's been talking to Bluegrass. They should be out there shortly, and he's waiting on Wrigler's to get back with him on their start date. So hopefully to get that one done. We'll be putting out the bids this week for Clarks Creek Road to get it paved. We can't actually retrieve money from it from the state until after July 1, but we'll go ahead and get the bids going so we can select someone to pave that road at one of our next meetings in July. Besides that, I think that's all I have really to report off at this time. Moving down to present reports, starting with Magistrate Humphrey. Anything you want to add to the court?
Down in District 3, just working with Steve and the road department, giving them some addresses and complaints and so forth, and locating some issues that they've been taking care of. They've been doing a great job on it. I'd like to commend Mr. Poe again. Thank you for your service. And 20-plus years of service, and I see many of the Corinth volunteer firemen there that's been there 20-plus years themselves. Absolutely. And you know, folks, we got many, many volunteers in this county. Great. That is great to know. You know, we have so many volunteers that give up their personal time for the betterment of this county, and I want to thank everybody. Thank you all.
Magistrate Codarn?
Yeah, it looks like Judge Dills already stole my thunder today. I don't know. Looks like he talked to the same person I did earlier today. Just to reiterate, also, Mr. Tatum did say that they were already cutting bushes on Independence and Kenny Road, so they're out that way,
Yes.
Cutting bushes in addition to all the mowing they've been doing. So I think we're a little bit ahead of the schedule this year, because last year I think it rained so much, you know, they might have only got one cutting, and we was getting quite a few calls, you know, when's somebody going to come and cut the roadsides, but they're looking pretty good now. Also, I did drive over the Dry Ridge Mount Zion Road, where they did fix the 2 slippages, and it looks very nice out there too. So I'm glad we're getting the work done and seeing improvements in the county.
Last but not least,
activity in District 1 is pretty consistent with my peers, just following up on road issues and potentially non-compliant ordinance issues. The only other thing I would add, I know that we don't have a representative here this evening from the Sheriff's Department, and I was going to put in a courtesy call even to the state police. With the Twin Bridges now fully closed and the traffic fully routing down 1993 Lawrenceville Road and then out to US 25, it is amazing at the amount of traffic that's happening on that road. And I don't even know what some of these folks are thinking, but they're passing other vehicles. And people call me like I'm the law enforcement, and I say, no, you need to call 428-1212 and report if you have concerns. And I see Lonnie shaking his head because we have quite a few calls out that area, for the fire department. And I just want to acknowledge that I think we may need to put some police officers out there at the beginnings, because we're only on day like 2, and I don't even know how people could feasibly pass someone on that road, but folks, it's happening.
Now you wonder how Clark's Creek felt.
Well, and that's what I
Yeah, I was gonna
that
tell-
country road that wasn't
And that's not a
maintained.
passable road that
It
they were
isn't, but
passing.
were they passing too? Passing
Yes.
other? I'm like, what?
We would like to welcome you to our world of Clark's Creek.
Well, so I told them, except, what is in 1993's favor is it was repaved, and maybe that's why they're even speeding more, because it is smooth, but there's going to be mass wrecks, and Corinth is going to be called out there more than even ever before, not just to residential calls, but to traffic calls, because folks are like, where's all these cars coming from? I'm like, people?
I'm sure the sheriff's aware of it. I'll
Yeah,
bring that up to
I
his
just wanted
attention
to
tomorrow.
acknowledge that. And then the other thing I wanted to check in with Mr. Tatum, and I've expressed this to citizens who are inquiring about potholes and repaving. It's pretty well known that our workforce is now focused in most instances on cutting grass and trees and the roadways. We probably aren't right away doing any of our in-house paving, maybe some patchwork here or there, but we're mostly focused on cutting, correct?
That's
and
correct.
We're going to get to that next phase of work, hopefully in a couple weeks when everything's cut. But we only have so much labor.
They have been working on quite a few roads, because
You see
noticed
the
there was
invoices.
quite a bit of asphalt that I paid regular for this time, so they're
They're
still
doing,
some paving.
and I get it. It's a balancing act, and that's what I had told some folks who have called.
Now, Simple Road, they're going to pave themselves that little section, that slippage.
Okay,
So I think they're going to be taking care of it this week or next.
that's all I had. Thank you.
Okay. Moving down, we have our jailer, Mike Webster, with us. You want to come up to the podium and anything to report on?
Good evening. So we had 182 inmates in the facility this evening, 33 of which are county, leaving 149 state. Our SAP program is at 57. We're still not able to transport, so replenishing the numbers is a little tough at the moment. The judge was talking about the interpreter line.
Mm-hmm.
We've applied for a little over $100,000 worth of grants, federal grants, and that was part of the application. One of the things we need to have in play. Those funds will be used for the medical records so that we can make them electronic. Also, it will be for the HVAC. It's basically, Jacqueline, and for those of you that have been in barbershops, it's an ultralight, just like they use to clean their scissors and stuff. Goes in the heat and vacuum it, and it purifies the air. And then, last but not least, is electronic files that the deputies will do so that there's not paperwork,
Like the
written
logs and
paperwork.
stuff.
Right. It'll be a little computer, and then it'll be
iPad
tracked
type
that
of
way.
thing.
Cut down on paper products. They're costly, but also with the new virus, it becomes other issues along with the paper. Pretty much it. We've applied to put our inmates back to work mowing. Our part is done. We're waiting for approval from the state, and then as well as the state health department is involved in it. So when I know further, I'll let you folks know more. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Sheriff's report said that Sheriff Maines wasn't able to make it tonight, but it looks like that the 3 cadets that they have will possibly go back to the academy by the end of July, 1st of August, as of right now. So that's all I have to report from the sheriff's office. Moving down to citizens' address. Is anyone here in the audience want to speak to the court on any subject? If not, we need to have a Public Properties Corporation meeting. Pat, do we need to go ahead and adjourn from this meeting prior to? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to be adjourning from our regular fiscal court meeting for a few minutes, and then we'll go right into this short Public Properties Corporation meeting. It'll only take a few minutes. But I just want to remind everybody before we adjourn from this meeting that our next meeting will be held Wednesday, June 24th, 2020 at 9 a.m. It's a special meeting. It's a meeting that we normally hold at the end of the fiscal year just to clear up any claims that need to be taken care of before we go into the new budget on July 1. So I need a motion to adjourn from this meeting.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Codar and a second by Magistrate Riley. All in favor saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.